Do you think that that's a natural? I mean, do you think that's a Maha natural muscle tone from him, or do you think maybe there's some supplemental?
Yeah, I think it looks too good to be true.
Doesn't it? Yeah. Doesn't it look too good to be true? It feels like it might be a Barry Bonds situation, kind of.
Hey everyone, I'm Cameron Kasky.
I'm Tim Miller, and this is the Bulwark's FY pod, where we usually only have Zoomer guests, because it's the young Gen Z show, but we've made an exception for a young millennial, the bard of Gen Z. He's got a new YouTube show called Test Drive with Jack Schlossberg, where he talks to you from his van, and he is with us right now in his van. It's he himself, Jack Schlossberg. What's up, man? That name is hard to say.
Hello, Schlossberg. Yes, but you nailed it.
Did I?
It's
I think I got it right the first time, not the second time.
Well, welcome to my van. So happy to have you guys inside my van.
I can't wait to get inside your van. We couldn't be more excited to be here with you. I want to start like this. I assume many of our viewers like me, you kind of like appeared out of the ether maybe like a year ago. You were posting thought posts on Instagram about how your uncle is weird. And I was like, I like the cut of this guy's jib. And, but I know nothing about your life pre that. So why don't you tell us about it?
Well, I'm so happy that you saw my videos. I hope you like, share, comment, follow.
I don't comment because I don't want it to get awkward, but I do like and share.
Yeah, like you kind of nailed it. Emerge from the ether. I don't really know what ether means, but I'll tell you a little bit about my life before that. I would say my life's changed a lot in the last 18 months, like since that time you're talking about, and kind of coinciding with what's going on in America and how severely things have changed in that same time frame. Yeah, before I started dancing on camera with my shirt off, talking about politics, I grew up in New York, and I went to college, and then I went I worked in Japan for a year, and then I went to law school and business school, and I did that for a really long time. Yeah, same time, JD MBA.
Wait, you can go to law school and business school at the same time?
Yeah, you can. You might not want to.
Dude.
Are the other JD MBA people also content creators in their van?
No, I think I'm the only one. No, that is what's so funny. Oh my God. That it really is like, yeah, the pipeline, I'm trying to build a pipeline. I'm starting to start recruiting. But it's definitely a new industry for the JD MBA.
Cameron dropped out of college. And so I feel like that's more normal to become a podcaster after being a failed college student than it is to be a JD MBA student. And then,
well, I'm very glad you said that, Tim, because that brings me to the first topic of today's episode, which is the airing dirty laundry topic.
Yes.
So I was talking to the woman who I was in love with the one semester that I was at Columbia, fall semester 2019.
And she said,
I had a big crush on Jack. So
no way.
I started to poll women I admire in my life to see how they felt. And I have 3 quotes. I have my best friend who said, set us up low key. I have my ex-girlfriend who's also a contributor to the FY Pod channel who said, please tell him I'm single. And then I have my freshman year true love who said, I used to have a crush on him. So my question for you is...
No other ones? That's it?
I asked my mom too, and she said he's handsome. But my question is, for my freshman college girlfriend who said she used to have a crush on you, what is your case to win her back?
Let me start here. I'm sorry I let you down, whoever you are. And I know that I can do better. But, I'm just questioning your sample size because I feel like we kind of look alike. We kind of have a similar, maybe we attract a certain type of person who's looking for a certain type of thing. And so maybe if we pulled a broader array, you would see the many times that you would meet some of the many women who have rejected me over the years.
I always say when you go unhinged politics Jew, it's hard to go back.
Yeah, you can't.
It's really tough. It is a specific taste.
I thought you were a Catholic. Are you not a Catholic?
Yeah. Well, my dad's Jewish. My mom's Catholic. Definitely raised Catholic, but in a pretty Jewish way.
I'm a half-Z too.
Yeah.
I'm a half-Z too.
Interfaith household.
Yeah. My mom comes from a Catholic family. She converted to Judaism before we were born, so we could have the technically Jew pass. But it's so interesting. People will be like, Judaism is in your blood. It's in your DNA. So whether you like it or not, you're Jewish. But then if your mother is not Jewish, they'll be like, okay, so you're not
Jack.
Jewish.
Do you feel like you disappointed all of like the Catholics that had like little kind of Kennedy shrines in their home? Well, your mother disappointed them kind of by leaving the faith a little bit.
Well, I think she actually proved that you can be very, very religious and still have an open mind and be open to new things. And I think that knowing more about other faiths can help you appreciate your own. And I think
did you get the sacraments? Like, did you get first communion and confession?
Yeah, first communion.
Confirmation? Did you get confirmation?
No, because I couldn't do it that year because I couldn't walk that year, and my mom let me skip. So I wish I could say yes, but I did not actually. I missed 8th grade confirmation class.
My bar mitzvah was supposed to be the year that my parents got divorced. And then my parents told me they were getting divorced. And I was like, okay, that's my free pass out of having to do bar mitzvah classes.
Yeah, not doing this.
It's like you literally couldn't walk? Like you were crippled?
Yeah, I've had a bunch of bad injuries in my life. This one was in 8th grade on the first day of school. I was riding my bike to school and my foot slipped off the pedal and it severed my Achilles tendon.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like 13.
And that prevents you from confirmation class and you could have wheelchaired in or something?
No, like if I really believed in God and wanted to go to heaven, then I probably would have done it. But I'm a heathen.
All right. Well, there's still time. There's adult confirmation. Our friend JD Vance recently got reconfirmed as a Catholic. It's unclear that he goes to church. There's not any evidence that he actually goes to church. He changed his name several times and he's changed his religion. So that's something that you could do. I don't know. Did you sort of model yourself? You have a lot of interest in the Vance
I think
family.
more and more about religion lately, actually.
In what way?
Well, I spent kind of like back to your original, like when I started popping off, whenever I arrived on your feed, it was like a long time coming. And it's true that I did like do it in a new way, but at the same time, like, I've been on the Profile and Courage Award committee and presented that award every year since I was like 18. Right. And so like in some ways, I've been doing it a long time and in other ways it was completely new, but kind of the period right before or like all that happened, during all that happened, I was living in Louisiana with a friend of mine who I knew from when I was a Senate page. And I like ended up there just because I was like, I got to get out of New York. And I just drove there. And
where in Louisiana? I'm in New Orleans. You know that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I live here.
In Covington.
In Louisiana. Oh, Covington. Okay, other side of the like Theo Von. Yeah. That's where Theo Von is.
No way.
High school. Yeah.
I knew he was from Louisiana. But yeah. So like, for me, that was a whole new world. Like I really hadn't spent much time in the South, and definitely not Louisiana. Like the presence of faith was something that I feel like was, especially like Christian faith, especially where I was from. It was kind of like not looked down upon, but definitely misunderstood. And I just kind of interacted with and saw like not much. I only spent a couple of months there. Like I don't really know what I'm talking about. But I was just like eye-opening to see how present it was, or just in a different way from where I grew up, which was like pretty, like everyone I knew growing up was Jewish. And I didn't really realize that I was like, I thought it was cool that I was Catholic like that, or Christian. That was like interesting because everybody was Jewish at my school. But yeah, I feel like I started thinking a little bit differently there. And it was a profound experience because at the same time I could feel this change coming and I didn't really know what exactly was going to happen, but I was like, this is not cool. I love Joe Biden and I've been looking at my phone for a couple of years and everything is just, I don't see any of it. I don't see anything about him. Like I don't hear anybody saying anything good. There's nothing on my phone. All these guys are talking about like, this is right wing and they don't even know that it's like that what. And that was happening for a long time. It was like really frustrating, but I was like, I can't say anything. Being in Louisiana, my mind was opened and I was like, no. Like this really, really matters. I was like thinking about it in a much more deep way and like willing to take more risk because I was like, I believe in this. I feel like this is like right and wrong. And like, I really want to say something.
Wait, you were on the committee for the RFK, the Profile and Courage Award?
Oh yeah.
No, that's different. What do you mean? That's different. That's like, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to keep track, I know. But there's the JFK Library. Profiles and Courage is a book that my grandpa wrote about senators who took difficult stands. And there's an award that the JFK Library gives out every year to a public servant who puts country first. But I think you're referring to like a humanitarian award that the
it's because
RFK is.
in 2018, my friends and I won the RFK award, and we went to the Capitol.
Congratulations.
For the ceremony, and we are standing in some room getting ready to go into some room, and they come up to me and they're like, okay, so who's gonna speak? And everyone from March for Our Lives looks at each other and we're like, someone was supposed to fucking speak, and like half of the Democrats in Congress are gonna be at this thing, and suddenly I, the sacrificial lamb, am put up to just basically go sound like a fucking moron. And we go up, it's the podium where RFK announced his presidential bid. It is a room where in the first row was John Lewis. And I gave 2 of the stupidest fucking minutes of bullshit I've ever heard in my entire life, wearing an ugly gray suit with a purple tie that looked like shit. But goddamn it, we won.
Well, I also did this thing, the New Frontier Award, and we recognized you guys. I think are we talking about it? It was the New Frontier Award in Boston. I feel like I gave
NBC.
March for Our Lives. Well, there's so many awards hard to keep track of, but
yeah. How many awards have you won, Cameron?
I don't know, but all I can say is get fucked, other Gen Z activists, because we definitely racked up most of those bad boys. You ever hear about the Sunrise Movement anymore?
You guys got the hard.
You ever hear about those little fucking climate nerds who were all hooking up with each other and talking shit about each other the whole time? No, man. We fucking smashed.
Dynasty era. Yeah.
Jack, I felt like your awakening of your social media awakening happened like right around the last time you gave out one of those Profile and Courage Awards to Mike Pence. And I remember like this sort of contrast between like, you know, like you're shirtless at the beach, you know, kind of dancing, talking about, you know, how RFK is crazy. And then like you're in like a blue blazer and a little tie.
Yeah.
Your hair is combed.
Yes.
And you're like, Vice President Mike Pence.
Yes.
I really honor you and your work of avoiding being hung on January the 6th. So, right, like this is my timeline's right? This is all happening simultaneously.
I mean, we really like it. It might as well be right. There's like, I mean, I could tell. No, like that was only a couple months ago, but I feel like I popped off like a year ago. But anyway, it's all the same. I would say like it was all very, very, very deliberate. Like I had held my tongue and had been, you know, when RFK.
Why did you feel like you had to hold your tongue? Just like family shit, RFK, or you wanted a job?
No, it was just like first of all, I was like in school. No. It was like I don't want to have to talk. Like this was like what 2023. Yeah, and it was like he was running for president for. It was like. I don't want to like, well, like, I don't want to have to like go and make a public statement. Like, why would I like, and then it kept growing and growing and growing. And it like took on a life of its own. And it was like, and I saw his alliance with Trump a mile away. It was just like, same donors, like, and it was, and so I kept getting so many press requests. And it was like, no, I don't want to like, that's not my life. Like, I need to focus on what I'm doing, you know, whatever. And then I went to go work on the Biden campaign because I was like, that would be a really good, like, if I can't, I don't want to like take this on myself, but I'll go like put my money where my mouth is and go do that. And long story short, you know, the Biden campaign was a short-lived thing and didn't have a risk appetite for social media. And I felt it kept going on and on and on with RFK Jr. getting more and more severe. And I was like very, very worried about it early on. And I was like, this is a real problem. I mean, not for just because of what he stands for, but also because he used President Kennedy, you know, very often in his campaign commercials, his Super Bowl commercial. Remember that? Which used the Kennedy campaign slogan. And like, to me, that's, you know, propaganda. Like you're stealing something from the American people. Like you're stealing our history from them and co-opting it for yourself. And like, who knows who's paying for this? Like what is going on here? But it took me a while to build up the courage to be like, you know what? Like, I'm going to just do this my way. And everyone told me I was crazy when I did it my way. And my way was like, okay, I'm going to say something that's going to break through. Because if I just like say, I am troubled by his rhetoric, and it's like sick. And it's like, if I'm going to do that, like, if I'm going to say how I like what I think, and it's something I've thought a lot about and I'm sure of, and I have real reasons for it, then like, okay, when you got people looking, then like give them something else that will like help balance that. And so like a part of me dancing with my shirt off and stuff was like No. People need to understand that like a young, fun person can love Joe Biden and be a Democrat.
So you're telling me that the accusations that the dancing with your shirt off of that some might say that was gay baiting for engagement, and what you're saying is that was Joe Biden baiting. Actually, you were just doing Joe Biden shit. You weren't doing any unfair gay baiting.
I would say like yeah. I mean, maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. For me, it was like about becoming comfortable actually just doing what I thought was like gonna work, and so like. It's transformed over time. It's like completely developed. Like,
it's good intentions. You were trying to get good vibes. You were trying to get engagement for Joe Biden. You weren't.
Also, like I at that.
You weren't leading Lance
at that
astray.
Time, I was like, what do we have to lose? What do we have to lose? Right. What? I made a dumb video. Like, no, there's no one else really. I don't see my people like. It was a long like people forget like 2-3 years ago. There's a lot of progressive media that's like popped up in the last year or so, but like there was very little. Like, anyway.
There's very little positive Joe Biden.
That brings me to my big question, which you said something really interesting that I had been saying to people I knew on the Biden campaign, people I knew in the Harris campaign, risk appetite on social media. With Harris, it's like, okay, they were making these kind of like haphazard attempts to say Kamala is brat and do the coconut meme and stuff like that. But when you're talking about working,
she never said the coconut line during the campaign. So they really didn't even do half-assed attempt. I was begging for it.
She failed to distance herself from the coconut line. But you're Jack. You're widely considered somebody who knows how to make people look at stuff on social media. What was your strategy for Biden in terms of social media risks? Like, what the fuck do you say to the Joe Biden campaign to get them to have Joe do whatever the Biden version of dancing shirtless on the beach is?
Just to back up on one thing you said, which was, I think that, as badly overwhelmed as we were on social media and it was our own fault. Like the Harris campaign was the shining example. Like they were did way more than what was happening before. And they showed way more willingness to take risk than what came before them. And that's not to criticize President Biden. It's just like, we were slow to this and we were risk averse. So like, I think that they had 100 days. And I think that like they actually moved the ball forward a lot and involved younger people, and the DNC had a lot of creators. And like in the beginning of the campaign, when I started making my videos, like, you're crazy. Like, by the end, I was like working with the campaign, like, everyone was like, make more videos. So I feel like people did come around, but I think that we talk a lot about the gender gap, how to attract young men. And to me, it's like, I don't know, but I think that risk taking is something that Democrats don't do so well in terms of public discourse. And that could be a reason that we fail to penetrate.
What do you mean by risk taking?
We're doing it now. We actually are doing it now. Like people started cursing on Twitter like this year. You know what I mean? Like the DCCC, like they say the F word now, like in a statement. Like that's completely new. Like that people are willing to say straight up, like, I mean, like Jasmine Crockett, like they're like speaking directly, like they're like cutting through and making a point of like of shouting as best you can online, I think.
Yeah. No, it's like, what is risk taking? I don't know. Like they're calling Trump a pedophile now. That's like DNC is doing like pedophile protection shit. Like,
right. So like language, I think. And just like something that, you're playing a game. The medium is the message. It's like, this is an algorithm that I'm like trying to please. This has nothing to do with like what I actually like I mean, it's like, it's a game. So it's like, okay, like here's my play. That's like an instinct that I feel like develops. But I think Democrats are finding ways, but it's hard. It's hard when you're in the minority and you don't have any power to do anything but say that things are messed up.
Well, I think there's a different, I think it just depends on who we're talking about, because some Democrats try to do influencery content that might work if it was somebody else. But we've got a couple examples, right? We've got Hakeem Jeffries posting a picture of him holding a baseball bat. We've got Zohran Mamdani making videos in New York City with a beautiful color palette and using Bollywood imagery for his logo. We've got Eric Swalwell ripping off the Subway Takes guy on the train. And we've got Brian Schatz, who just makes videos where he's talking to people like a person. And I think that the social media game is bespoke to the congressperson, but some of them are also trying too hard to be content creators that they just aren't. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. It's definitely like sometimes you're like no way, but I also think that it's like, you know, you're an actor, you're like a performer, and that's a hard job, especially if you have to actually also be a sitting elected official. So it's like, I have a lot of sympathy for them. I think like, I don't know what to tell them other than to try to show people through what I post, like the strategies I'm using, I guess.
Who do you think is doing it the best?
I think a lot of people are like, I think Schatz gives really good speeches. I think Chris Murphy is a very clear communicator. I think lately John Ossoff has been doing really good written statements on his Instagram. At least that's where I encounter them, where they're very clear and they're hitting on constant themes like corruption, like hammering home corruption and deficits. And I think that that's really important. And like he's doing a good job, and people are willing to read or listen longer because people want information now, I think. So things like leaning into that, not thinking like, oh, everyone's attention span is tiny and no one cares. It's like, I think people really do want to know the information.
You were saying that you think they should look to you for a model?
No.
Like, what about the Usha Vance is hot tweets,
yes,
and I want to fuck her? Like, that's probably not a great thing for Brian Schatz to send. I don't think, or maybe it is.
You can object to that, but for me,
I'm not objecting to it.
For me, it's like, growing up, like I've seen how this is done to my own family members. Yeah. And so it's like, for me, that's like a commentary on, it's like what will, like, the New York Post is going to, like, if I write this, like, they're going to come up with their worst about it. And then it's like, okay, but you're writing it not about Trump for 1 second at least. Okay. So it's like throwing wrenches in the system in creative ways, because from where I sit, it's like, this is not normal. The law is being broken in broad daylight every single day. And if I'm scared to like make a joke about somebody when like, this is all people say about, that's just like that's just what I think. And so not
so
being
it was
scared.
a joke. So you don't, because I'm a journalist.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't think Usha Vance is hot?
I think she's absolutely beautiful. Are you kidding me? I never said that. I said I didn't say I want to F her.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I mean, what's the joke part? Usha is so stunning. I am so in awe of her.
She's ethereal.
I'm so in awe of her terrible decision making with men. But that doesn't lead me to my next question, but I'm just going to say that it does. First of all, I agree. I think
we said we were going to do a ranking of the hottest second ladies.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're going to change the subject, do you not have any nominees besides Usha?
I can probably name like
Marilyn Quayle.
Ladies.
Do you have any thoughts about Marilyn Quayle?
What century is Marilyn Quayle even from?
She was Dan Quayle's wife.
I don't know who Dan Quayle is.
Bush's Dan Quayle. You don't know Dan Quayle couldn't spell potato. This was before you were born. He couldn't spell potato. It was kind of a big scandal in the late 1980s, early 1990s.
Didn't he write it on a chalkboard or something?
Yeah, he had an E to the end. P-O-T-A-T-O-E. Yeah, that wasn't great. Margarita Rockefeller looks pretty. Oh, wait, Joan Mondale. Wow.
Right? That's what I'm talking about, right?
Joan Mondale is kind of stunning.
Tim, when you were a Republican communications strategist, communications director for Jeb Bush, how would you have spun potato being spelled wrong?
Boy, that's a tough one. I think that your candidates really put you in a pickle if they spell potato wrong, you know? I think that I probably would have made a joke about how hot Usha Vance is.
Right.
So they start talking about something else instead.
On to the next.
Yeah, move on to the next. I think you got to do something worse then, something you got to lean into it probably.
It works when Trump does it. Like, do something worse, get them talking about the worst thing, and then it kind of goes away. That's kind of one of the things I'm the most scared about with this Epstein stuff is that Trump is just going to do increasingly worse and worse things in order to try and divert people's attention from it. But I read somewhere recently that RFK Jr., against whom you've been very outspoken, had some sort of relationship with Jiz Maxwell. Like, do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about that. But yeah, I don't know. This Epstein thing, it feels like, people have been like titillated by conspiracy for a really long time. And then it was like, oh, we're finally going to find the answer to one of these mysteries. And I think that's why it obviously, the underlying crimes are obviously awful, but I also think it's just like has life of its own in such a crazy way.
It's like kind of the ultimate conspiracy theory because it covers like everybody. It gets regular Republicans really upset. It gets the crazy fringe anti-Semites really hyped up.
How could it not get you upset? It's absolutely crazy. Like what?
I know. And it's just like even normal non-conspiratorial thinking people are like, holy shit, this is like the conspiracy that we know of.
And it's not a conspiracy. I mean, the only part about it is kind of a conspiracy is whether he killed himself or whether somebody offed him in jail. Like that part is like a bit of a
either way, isn't Bill, why is Bill Barr not like either it's negligence or something else? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah. I mean, do you have a theory of why do you have any Trump Barr theories of your own about, or anybody else?
I have no idea, but I think that this happens to be like a very easy thing to understand in a lot of ways, but like they're doing this or in many other places too, similar types of blatant illegal behavior that then is completely just overtly denied. And like, you don't expect them to tell the truth anymore in press conferences. We don't expect it. Like he's asked a question, did you know about whatever, the signal chat? Like, no, I had no idea. And like with utter confidence, like that's, so I have no idea what's going on, but what I do know is that the second administration seems a lot more confident in what they're doing. And that terrifies me.
I wonder your thought on like going back to kind of what Dem social media stuff can do. I mean, I think that I think we all agree they've been more aggressive, which is good. But I don't know, man. I feel like they could go even further on the Epstein stuff. Like, and it doesn't have to be everybody. It doesn't have to be the, whatever, chairman of the DNC or whatever. But like, I think Dem Pauls at this point can start being a little bit more reckless in their comments about Trump on Epstein.
Well, that's kind of what I mean, where it's like, I think so too. And so I try to like, I think you're completely right. I feel like it's like, what are we waiting for? You're not being hyperbolic. This is insane. So, yeah.
And he's covering it up. He's in there. We know he's in there. They've got a file. They said that the FBI guys flagged his name. So they've got a file for where his name is in the files. And so they've got a list of all the times Trump's mentioned in there. So just show it. And if you're not showing it, it's got to be because like the accusations are really bad. I get fucking annoyed at the TV people that are like, well, just because he's in there doesn't mean that he did anything wrong. It's like, really? I don't know. I mean, it's not like they were just on the same wedding invite list. It's like he's all over the files of a child sex trafficker. Like he probably did something bad.
Totally. Do you understand? Because I don't feel like I do why this is happening right now.
Yeah. Because they put out that stupid statement. It was a total rake step. Pam Bondi. So like back in March, they were like, we're going to figure out who's in the Epstein files. Probably because they wanted to get, they were like, we're going to get Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew and, random Kennedy cousins and like whatever. It'll be all the live elites, right, that we're going to get. And so we sent a bunch of FBI agents to go through all the files. And then like in May, they said to Trump, you're in them. And then like in July, they put out a statement that was like, we decided we're going to put this to rest, So like they put out that statement. Oh, that's also, and also Elon tweeted it. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But it was them putting out that statement that was like, we're, nothing to see here. We're chilling. That like caused the firestorm.
So my question for you guys is like,
it's almost like they don't know what they're doing.
When Trump was campaigning and saying, we're going to release the files, is it that he thought he could get away with releasing certain parts of the files that didn't feature him? Or do you think he just straight up didn't even know that he was in them?
I don't think Trump has object permanence. Like, I think that he like just lives like one fucking second at a time, and he's like, I'm going to say whatever I need to say to get me through today. And then tomorrow, I'm going to say whatever I need to say tomorrow. I don't know that it was deep thinking.
Yeah, it's something they say on Succession about the Rupert Murdoch character. They're like, I don't think he's thinking about anything other than putting one foot in front of the other. But another friend of mine was like, okay, Epstein had this whole island. There was obviously the child pedophile evil part of the island. But there was also like tennis courts and scuba diving or whatever. And there might have been people who went to the Epstein Island just for like the vacay and didn't even know about all the pedophile stuff. So maybe that's what Trump did.
Because there's no tennis courts anywhere else. It's the only one you could book.
I was with a Republican girl that I've been friends with since I was very young last night. And she was telling me that she watches victim testimonies from the Epstein stuff and that there are videos of people who allegedly were part of the Epstein pedophile ring giving their full-blown testimony. And they were saying that there were like science labs and shit like that there. And whenever someone I'm with puts their tinfoil hat on, I'm like, I'm gonna let them cook, keep spilling and everything. And she started talking about human cloning and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? If Republicans need to get more conspiratorial about this and it leads to them hating Trump more, as long as it doesn't get to the Jews, I'm cool with it. You could think that there was cloning going on as long as it keeps you saying release the Epstein files. But Tim, if you don't have anything else,
I kind of want cloning.
There could have been cloning. I mean, we cloned sheep, didn't we?
Well, I mean, Epstein was into some weird shit. He had he had like a scientist conference down there with the guy that who was the guy that just talked through his wheelchair?
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, Stephen Hawking was down there. Like, his dick doesn't even work. What was he doing on the island? Was he just getting his neck rubbed by the girls, or what was happening?
I feel like I have two thoughts. One is that the human tragedy is just like, once you enter that level of it and you realize like that's what we're talking about, it's like, holy shit. It's just so profoundly just dark and sad.
Evil.
The second thing is, how compromised are what about national security? How compromised are all of these people? Like, there's so many conflicting interests. There's clearly so much intelligence on so many characters. It's definitely not a good look.
No, it's not a good look.
It's just so weird that some people are saying maybe there aren't Epstein files. Cause like, I know people who keep a guest book for their summer home. And if you forget to write in the guest book when you visit, they like actually get offended. And I'm like, I feel like Epstein probably kept a guest list for his summer
like
home.
What? He had left zero evidence of anything he did. And like, what?
He wasn't doing it for blackmail. He wasn't doing it for bribery. He was doing it for love of the fucking game.
Do you think there's any chance that Democrats, people fixate on this and then that to the advantage of Trump?
I mean, I think it could definitely be to the disadvantage of Bill Clinton. I would not be in a good mood in Chappaqua right now, like, because if I'm those guys and I'm like trying to distract shit, I'm just like, we're going to go throw the book at like Bill Clinton and whatever, some other random Dems. So I don't know that it'll actually help Trump, but there could definitely be some shrapnel.
One of the things that weirded me out was just the way that Clinton and Trump wrote to Epstein. Like, if you actually read the letters that they apparently wrote for his birthday, like the Clinton and Trump letters to Epstein, they were kind of romantic and sort of a little gay. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't, because I'm a gay and I don't write letters to my male friends. So I don't know what was gay. Just letter writing itself is gay. Male letter writing. 60 Minutes journalist voice. So Jack, you kind of did admit to gay baiting, though, while we're discussing the gays. One more time. You are doing intentional gay baiting.
Whether that is a consequence of my actions, to the extent that, sure. But
do you want to apologize to any homosexuals out there who are feeling misled by the content that you are producing? Or?
Don't do it.
Well, let me say this. Not only am I sorry, I'll never do it again.
That is not believable. Do not make a promise you cannot keep, Jack. Not on FY Pod.
I think some people are accused of gay baiting just for being hot. And it's like, if you're a guy who's like hot, especially if you're Twinkie or Twunky, you're going to get accused of gay baiting. If you're a guy who dresses, Harry Styles gets accused of gay baiting for dressing.
He
just admitted it, Cameron. Why are you running cover for him?
I'm running cover for all of the men who get.
Feel like you're definitely joking. Like, I don't know. Like was I gay baiting? Definitely. Like, of course. Like, that was everything baiting. It was like, I'm gonna throw everything at the wall. Like, I'm not secretly trying to like gay bait. I don't even know what that. I actually didn't know that term. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to like be weird. I don't know. Like, that's my version of like being like, I don't know. There is a thing about masculinity there of like, yeah, I'll like act gay and I don't care.
Do you go through your messages on Instagram, like from strangers?
Sometimes?
And like, what percentage of those do you think are from gay men? Would you say like 60% or 70%?
What percentage of the males?
No, of the total.
I would say
the total population of messages. What percentage are gay males? Do you think?
Probably 40 to. Yeah, probably probably less. Probably 20. I would say of the males, it maybe 90%.
There aren't too many dudes just trying to bro out.
Of my ex-girlfriends, probably Sox. Like at least 25%. Everybody, please leave a comment down below on if you think that Trump and Clinton's letters to Epstein were gay, or if I'm just being a jerk.
FY Pod is sponsored by Mint Mobile. You know what doesn't belong in your epic summer plans? Getting burned by your old wireless bill. Well, you're planning beach trips, barbecues, and 3-day weekends. No 3-day weekends at the Bulwark, but other places. Your wireless bill should be the last thing holding you back. That's why so many people are making the switch to Mint Mobile. With Mint, you can get the coverage and speed you're used to, but for way less money. And for a limited time, Mint Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited premium wireless service for $15 a month. So all your friends are sweating over data overages and surprise charges on their ugly phone bills. You'll be chilling. Literally and financially. How's your phone bill these days, Cameron? How you doing?
All I know is that after hearing that, I'm going to throw my phone at the wall and let it shatter into pieces, and then do whatever you just said.
Get the insurance from it? Is that what you're saying? You're trying to get the insurance? They've got high-speed data. I don't know if you know that. Unlimited talk and text. Do you have unlimited talk and text? I hope so, because you text me all the fucking time. Delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your old phone number along with all your existing contacts. That's exciting. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/FYPod. That's mintmobile.com/FYPod. An upfront payment of $45 is required, equivalent to $15 a month. This is a limited time new customer offer for the first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on the unlimited plan. Taxes and fees are extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Boom. Mint Mobile. That could be it.
I'm so glad Mint Mobile lets you keep your existing contacts, because I'm not going to explain why, but I have Sean Spicer's phone number. Let's get back to it. Tim, I'm pretty satisfied with this gay conversation. Can I move on to my next topic?
Okay, yeah, we got to go rapid fire now, because I've got a couple we haven't touched either. So
real quick, Jack, just 3 questions for you. This is called Gen Z Trivia with Jack Schlossberg. Jack, what is the most annoying Gen Z trend?
I don't know any of them. Can you name some and I'll tell you which
You don't get annoyed? You don't get annoyed?
No, I don't know them. I don't know what they are. Could you tell me a few that I know so that I know what they are?
Just like Zoomer quality that's considered a Zoomer thing where you're like, oh my God, shut the fuck up.
I don't
Zoomers.
like a word. No, like a word, like how everybody's got an aura. You know?
I don't like here's what I don't like. I don't like the blue jeans, white Air Force Ones, 10 people, all friend group, they all wear them. That's what I see from Gen Z. I see a lot of the same outfits.
Okay, Dante, put 10 points on the screen.
Yeah, I don't like the mustache. I don't like the mustaches. And I
love Gen Z.
I don't like them calling things coded. Everything isn't something coded. Oh, yeah. You know?
Oh, I don't like no cap. I don't know why, but I just don't like it. I don't know what it means. I don't get it.
When white people say it?
I don't even know. Yeah, that's what it's like. Maybe that's why I don't like it, because it sounds weird. People say, I don't know.
I'm with you. I don't say no cap, but I do call certain things cap. So maybe I'm a little agnostic. All right. Question number 1. Number 2, there's 3 questions here. What was the main thing you wasted time on during the pandemic?
Pandemic was weird for me because it's like a long story, but I was very injured, like for 2 years before the pandemic and then all throughout the pandemic. So I was like 2 years ahead of everybody on the pandemic.
Another injury?
Yeah, that one was really bad. Like I had a really bad injury and I could only walk for like 4 years, like barely. So that was COVID
wheelchair?
for me. I was like in bed. I could walk like short distances. I had crutches for a long time and I was on like in bed for a lot. But yeah, I could like walk around the block, but that would basically be it for like a pretty long time.
Sad. What did you do in bed? Like what?
Well, I was in school, so I just literally was studied all day. I got really into I watch a lot of CNBC. I would say that's kind of where I wasted a lot of my time. But
do you have at least favorite CNBC personality?
I have a love-hate relationship with Joe Kernan. He doesn't know about it, but he enrages me, but he makes me think because he is so consistently, his perspective is like, okay, like I know, I feel like it's helped me, but it really enrages me.
All right, last question. Who is the greatest Gen Z artist?
Artist?
Yes, of any kind.
Who's the greatest Gen Z artist? I don't really think in terms of like, that's Gen Z, that's not Gen Z. Like, is Gracie Abrams Gen Z? Is Billie Eilish Gen Z?
Billie Eilish is Gen Z.
Yeah. Is Shyamalan Gen Z?
Yes. He's
the best. He's the best.
I think he's a cusper. Okay,
he's definitely
great
the
answer.
best.
The correct answer, by the way, is Congressman Maxwell Frost, who does extraordinary work, but I'll let you go with that.
It is. Cusper is definitely right. I mean, so would you, like, if you had to rank, for example, I don't know, just like pulling some names out of the air, like Billie Eilish versus Olivia Rodrigo?
Oh, if I had to choose, I couldn't. Who do I think is better? Well, at what? I really couldn't choose. It would be that hard
full
for me.
spectrum artistry,
because I think
charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Look,
like grading them on charisma. You have to be RuPaul. You got one of them, Shantae, you stay. One of them, sashay away.
Right.
Sorry, you have to do it.
I would say that there's no way that I have to answer who is better.
You have to sashay away. One of them has to be sashayed away.
I really like the song Good For You. Okay.
Yeah,
and I think that Olivia Rodrigo has the X factor and has what it takes.
Shantae, you stay. Okay. That's a good pick. I want to go back to your, is it uncle or cousin, RFK Jr.?
He is my cousin.
Before we get to the mailbag. Cousin. I don't do the Kennedy family tree, really. Is it not, as a former Republican, it doesn't.
Yeah, I understand.
The whole mystique doesn't really work for me. But, kind of like you appearing with your thought Instagrams, he kind of appeared for me out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden he's running for president. There's the bear in the woods, and like
my sister wrote that story.
Yes. Isn't that so wild? As a reporter?
Yeah.
I did like a 30-minute breakdown of the bear story for YouTube one time. So I'm well aware of your sister's important role there. For you, just as an observer, like when did he cross over from being like kind of like weird, like vaccine guy, but kind of like all my cousins are kind of weird, but it's sort of charming. And he's got a little thing. When did it cross over from that to like malicious, effort to undermine the American democracy? Like how did that process work?
I actually don't know him personally well at all. I haven't spent much time with him. Most of that was
you guys just like meet at Hyannis Port or something every year?
Yeah, no.
For 4th of July?
Yeah, no. No, I don't have there's no like thing where we all meet. Bakes? Yeah, and like there's like a family. Like I have my family, my parents and sisters, and we spend a lot of time together, super close. But it's not for my generation, at least. I think I don't know. Anyway,
sure.
To answer your question, I think that he's been troubled for a long time. So I don't think it was a crossover.
He was just following the wave, basically.
Or like I don't know. I mean. Your guess is as good as mine.
So it's like not that weird because I was thinking it'd be like kind of weird, right? If my, whatever, like my uncle's kid or whatever was like all of a sudden was like a Donald Trump spokesperson, and like that would be a hard thing for me to process. But like what you're saying is like you didn't really hang out before, so there was
like I can't speak to like a change or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'll say that like what you said is true. Like I emerge and he emerged. Well, like. His decision to do what he did and to use our family name, legacy, the images of my grandfather, President Kennedy, in tons of his own ads, campaigns, so going on every podcast talking about the JFK assassination, saying he knew what happened, that the CIA killed President Kennedy without any evidence, And like, that's why I was compelled to do, like, that's why I had, people were looking when I posted, like, right. You know, so, and I also why I felt obligated and just motivated, because I spent a lot of time thinking about my grandfather, and like, people often think about the most dramatic or scandalous moments of people's life, but there's so much like super important history that I find genuinely inspiring that is under attack right now from the president of the United States, who's fixated on like diminishing President Kennedy or tying himself to him or whatever it is, but he's fixated. And so I felt like, oh my gosh, whether I like it or not, I'm involved here. And I don't think I'll be able to live with myself if I don't say something. Do you have broader Maha thoughts, like outside of the construct of like the Kennedy just stuff? That like I mean, I will give him credit that he's a genius for saying a bunch of things that people already all agree on, like processed food is bad and sugar is bad, and getting people to believe that there's some revelation, I think is impressive accomplishment. You got one other thought on him, and then we can move on. You guys both have done shirtless content, yeah. And I will say your body types are very different. Very different. Do you think that that's a natural? I mean, do you think that's a Maha natural muscle tone from him, or do you think maybe there's some supplemental? Yeah, I think it looks too good to be true. Doesn't it? Yeah. Doesn't it look too good to be true? Real quick, everybody, like it might be a Barry Bonds situation, kind of. Yeah. Before we get to Boomer Mailbag, Dante, can you just throw up the video of President Trump snubbing Cheryl Hines at the UFC game? The fights are on. It's pretty incredible. Crazy. It's insane. Okay, Boomer Mailbag time. It is about to be Boomer Mailbag time, but the first Boomer Mailbag question was from Jack Schlossberg, actually. He posted this on social media. Which member of the Trump cabinet has had the most homosexual experiences? I have a very strong view on this, but I want to go last. So, Cameron, I'd like to hear your answer first. Which Trump cabinet? Well, and we're going to, I guess we could include Scott Bessent, and he is an avowed homosexual with a Barbie house. But it's possible he's like the kind of gay that's only had one. Maybe it's just him and his husband, and that's it. So you could throw him in if you want. Cameron, you go first. I think Slay D. Vance is probably the gayest one. I know this is kind of a hot take, but just no. I read a bunch of his book. That was very get ready for this, Tim, queer coded language. And I think his physicality, his vibes, and just the insecurity. There's a lot of insecurity to him and a desire to be gaining approval from others that is characteristic of somebody who is hiding something. And I think the only circumstance in which a 10 like Usha would marry him is if there was an understanding that she wouldn't have to actually share a bed with him. So Slay D. Vance. Okay, Jack, what about you? Well, I did a poll and overwhelmingly Vance, but I left an important person out of that poll, two important people out, which one of them you might be able to guess, Hexeth. I forgot to put in the poll. I don't know. He, something about him. And then second is Marco Rubio. How about the sleeper Marco Rubio? Never saw it coming. Might just be him. So, being a former Republican Oppo research guy, I do have some additional thoughts on this. There's a lot of chatter about Marco having some homosexual experiences in South Miami, but I think it was slander in this case. I think that it was Republicans that were connecting foam parties as a gay thing, because Republicans are lame and don't realize that like straight guys also liked foam parties. So I think just because Marco went to South Beach foam parties does not necessarily mean that was a gay thing. I think that was just like kind of a Cuban thing. So I don't know that Marco is the man here. I think it's obviously J.D. Vance, and you've seen him in makeup in high school. I mean, I think that J.D. probably has had at least 3 homosexual experiences, I think, I would say. And for that, what can we say but slay? All right, slay. Okay, we'll go to the actual Boomer Mailbag. Are we ready? Here we go. This one comes from Old Vanilla. This was my favorite one that we've received. Jack and Cameron, this is for you. Because I have no expertise here. I've gotten the impression that Gen Z women are expected to consent to being choked and slapped during sex. Is this common or just sensationalized? I only ever choke when I am directly asked, because I think that that's mean
and I don't like mean during sex. I think that sex, you're supposed to be nice. So if the choke is requested, I will participate in it because I'm a team player and I want everybody to feel accommodated for. But generally speaking, any mean stuff like mean talk, demeaning talk and everything like that, it just goes against what sex is to me. Sex is like the nicest thing you can do with somebody. And I like to keep it that way. That
Cameron,
said,
as a fellow narcissist, I appreciate that you made that question about you. But the actual question was, is this common? Is this common? So but maybe you're
is
unique.
what common? People,
women wanting to get choked and slapped during sex. Gen Z women wanting to get choked and slapped. Is that
Tell us,
common?
Cameron, is it common?
I have often been asked to be a little bit less of a house cat and a little more aggressive. So I suppose it's common. Yeah.
Jack, do you have anything on that?
I have, no data to share, only my, conceptual instincts, which say that, is it common to be expected? I don't know. That sounds like that's extreme. Expected, right? That's just expect. Yeah. And is that consent? Is that really consent if it's expected of you? I don't know.
It's a good question. So we're thinking it's getting more or less common.
I think a lot of young people, and I don't really know about women in this situation, but I think a lot of young people are watching more porn, and I think porn promotes a more aggressive form of sex. And I think that it's young men's belief of how sex is supposed to go, at least, has been very, very altered. Because, back in the day, someone like Tim in an alternate reality where Tim has ever had sexual attraction towards a woman,
I did.
Maybe you steal a dirty magazine from your dad's closet and that's what you get. And maybe you see a porno DVD that's like on a set with characters who are following some sort of a narrative. But like with us, it's just on our iPhone. There is aggressive porn that we can just access anywhere in the world. So I think porn has really changed the way that, especially.
Do we need porn regulation? Do you think? What do you guys think about
that? I think we need porn regulation?
It's a First Amendment issue.
I think something has to be done about the, if you look at Pornhub's terms of service, there's some pretty fucked shit in there. And I think that a lot of porn on the internet is not as consensual as they may want you to believe. But I don't know from a legal standpoint how I would handle that.
Jack is pro First Amendment. All right. I just wanted to clarify.
Yes, I love it.
All right, final question. Amendment. We get this one a lot. Cam gets this one a lot. So Jack, you can field this one as our final earnest question. And I will just say about your podcast before we get to the final question.
Oh man, I forgot to bring it up.
Schlossberg. Test Drive with Jack Schlossberg, which takes place in this van. I watched it this morning. And, one thing I love about you is you really, and Cameron, is you're veering kind of between like sarcasm and mocking and like kind of withering jokes about Jared Kushner's outfit to like very earnest thoughts about the state of our nation and politics. And you're sort of, we're on a journey with you, like back and forth in that. And that's what I like. So we'll end with something earnest. One thing I didn't like, which we didn't get a chance to get to, is your defense of Hunter Biden, but we'll do some bonus content on that another day. Lori, whose email signature is Wisdom Begins in Wonder. Producer Tony just wanted to make sure we had that context. Wisdom begins in wonder. Let me think about that for a second.
It really does.
It really does, Lori. I'm glad you said that. Lori says, Jack, why is your generation not more involved in the resistance against the current regime?
Is that true? I feel like it's not really what I'm saying. Have you gone to any protests?
Yes, I have. Protests? And it feels kind of old. It feels a little boomery at the protests, no?
Yeah, but at the same time, like my phone is on fire with people who are protesting with comments and likes and sharing stuff. So yeah, like it depends where you look. I don't know. I think, and like we just had an election where young people were the decisive factor in New York City, like hands down. So I think people actually are involved, or more than they were maybe a year ago, and I'll take it. But I do think that, both parties, Democratic Party has not done a good enough job in encouraging young people and making use of the most valuable resource.
I think the Democratic Party spends more time like resenting young people for not bending to their will than they do trying to meet us where we're at. I think I see Democrats angry at young people more than I see Democrats trying to bargain with young people, because I think they feel very entitled to our votes. And then you see someone, and you were talking about this, like Zohran Mamdani, who was able to not only get young people to vote for him, he was also able to get a ton of young people to go fucking canvass for him. And instead of embracing that and saying, gee, what can we learn from this? You have them coming out and saying, I'm not going to endorse him because of anti-Semitism that he never did. So the Democrats, I say this all the time, get handed winning shit on a silver platter and just turn it away. But the last point I wanted to make to that was I think young people have a different understanding of what will work in terms of organizing, because we see how big digital stuff was in securing Trump another victory, right? We had a guest with 13 million followers talking about how crucial TikTok was in securing the Latino vote. We always talk about Trump going on the pods, Netanyahu going on Nelk Boys to do fascist Hasbara. We see all these things happening, and young people are like, digital organizing is probably going to be more valuable than going out and marching, because the protests that shaped our youth were Women's March, and not to discredit the extraordinary work that was done by the brave women who did that, but women are still getting sexually assaulted all the time, and we still see it all the time. Black Lives Matter. Cops are still killing black people. March for Our Lives. Not a lot of substantive things were done about guns. Whereas the boomers who are showing up to the No Kings protests and stuff like that, they saw the Vietnam protests, they saw the civil rights protests, and they have more of a sense that if we show up and flood the streets, something can happen. Whereas I think young people have seen these big marches happen with so much fanfare, but we haven't seen the substantive results that we wanted. And therefore we're like, okay, well, making a TikTok might actually change more people's minds than making like a poster board.
TikTok legend, Jack Schlossberg. Protest legend Cameron Kasky. Guys, this is so good. Jack, since we know you spent time in Covington. I appreciate you doing this pod, but and it's cool, and we're very masculine and very bro here on this pod. We're not that woke. Cameron's woke. But so it's good. It's a good start for you. But let's move you even into more mask space where there's going to be less gay talk. Theo, let's get you on Theo and hanging out with him. You guys can do a little Covington talk and bro down. All right.
Love that.
All right.
Thank you guys.
We'll work on it. I appreciate you, brother. We'll be seeing you soon. All right.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Cameron.
Thanks for watching, folks.